Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi. You are watching MNT News Network. Today is Sunday, and every Sunday we have the discussion in English. So today again we will have a discussion in English. The today's subject is on the screen. So today's subject is the aim of Phule Ambedkarite movement is to annihilate the caste from the Mulnivasi Bahujan Society. Yeah. So this is the subject, that is the one of the aim of the Phule Ambedkarite movement is to annihilate the caste from the Bahujan Mulnivasi Society. And we have the speaker today, Mulnivasi Arhant Patharde, who is the international coordinator from the BAMCEF. So we will discuss this topic with him, and this topic is very, very important, as we can see that the one of the aim of the Phule Ambedkar movement is to annihilate the caste. This caste barrier is the problem in our society, and the subject itself, we can see that it is made of the three parts. We can see that the one of the aim is the Phule Ambedkarite movement. So the one of the wording we have taken here is the Phule Ambedkarite movement. So we'll note about it. The second one is the annihilation of the caste, and the third is the Mulnivasi Bahujan Society. So let us invite today's speaker on the screen, and let's start the discussion, and we will dive into the subject. Arhant sir, a very, very warm welcome to you on the MNT News Network. Today we have a very, this auspicious moment to have you in this discussion. Please, warm welcome, accept our warm welcome on this MNT News Network.
Thank you, Kumar Sanjay ji. Thank you for calling again. I mean, as one of the, to speak about one on the subject on MNT News Network. And thank you so much, MNT News Network, also to propagating our thoughts. I mean, our forefathers' thoughts in the society. So yes, I mean, the today's topic, that is one of the significant topic, actually. As you said, it is very important to understand where we are coming from, and where we are, and where we want to go. The three questions, what you have taken about, I will just, note down in three different, positioning. One is the historic positioning of Phule Ambedkarite movement,
Yes.
which is currently we as a missionaries, we are trying to work on those parts shown by our forefathers, and to understand where are we in this movement. Are we heading somewhere? Are we really following on the path shown by the missionaries like Mahatma Phule and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, and majorly the constitution which Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has presented to us as a as a missionary document to work on. And also we would also, going further, we will try to understand how really we can how really we are on the path to achieve those milestones given to us as a bearer of this torch of Mulnivasi Bahujan Samaj Missionary Society. So thank you so much, and if we can move ahead with the questions you have.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think let us say, these three words which is coined into the subject. Let's give just a very, very, very brief, introduction to start the topic. That what is the Phule Ambedkarite movement? Yeah, and what is what is the need of the annihilation of caste, and what is the Bahujan Mulnivasi Society? Why these terms are very, very important into the subject, and why we want to discuss about this one, what we want to set, what is the goals, behind this. So just let's start in a very brief, and then we will dive into the, more details as we go.
Yeah, Kumar Sanjay ji, it's a hearty. It's very good that we are talking about this subject today. We see, Phule Ambedkarite movement as we see today is 120 years old. If we take a lineage of from the day when Mahatma Jyotirao Phule ji has presented Satyashodak Samaj, and as his a missionary society which he wanted to attain during his time. And he has proposed so many different ways of he has exposed first the uh, the Gurungiri, as he said. I mean the the slave mentality amongst in the society. So
Right.
basically, when we talk about Phule Ambedkarite ideology, we talk about last 120 years, 125, 30 years of the movement which
Yeah.
Jyotiba Phule has started and then carried forward by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. But yes,
Yeah.
of course, between these two stalwarts of missionary movement, we see a lot of connecting dots in between, and during this movement, we see Shahu Maharaj as one of the very key significant a dot. I mean, if we say connecting the dots, so.
Right.
So as we see, the this movement is derives an inspiration from the life and mission of our forefathers,
Yeah.
which is as I said, the connecting dots between these stalwarts. We take out, uh, as we say, if we juice out from if we take out the juice from a fruit, so
Yeah.
what remains is the important aspects, the values, and the missionary objectives, which is given by all of those the forefathers, which I name it like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj,
Yeah.
Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, in
Yeah.
connection with Rashtrapita Jyotirao Phule,
Hmm.
Rashtra Nirmata Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, who is the Bharat Ratna also,
Yeah.
then Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy, then we Jananayak Birsa Munda. So these are very
Yes.
significant stalwarts in last
Yeah.
150 years or 50 years of Phule Ambedkarite movement, and this movement also takes a value, a historic value from the life and mission of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj also. So basically, the Phule Ambedkarite movement is a brief, a brief summary of human emancipatory movement which is being taken forward by missionaries in last 120 150 years. So
Yeah.
basically, the objective of our forefathers was to uproot the Brahmanism, the spirit of humanity. I mean, uh, uh,
Yes.
Brahmanism. See, basically, the movement talks about the emancipation from the suffering. When we talk about emancipation of suffering, so what all those suffering in the society, the Rashtrapita Jyotira Phule has found that Brahmanism is one of the key ingredients of this suffering, and that need to be uprooted. So when we talk about that, so is to the forefathers were towards educating us to uproot the Brahmanism, which is against the spirit of equality, the principle of equality, liberty, fraternity, and justice.
Yes.
Rashtrapita Phule and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and all of our stalwarts were just not interested in changing their current social system. They were
Hmm.
very much interested to to remove this status quo,
Hmm.
to to
Status quo.
move on from the status quo and change the social system, so that this what all sufferings we are talking about, we try to preserve the human dignity of the people and try to give that to the individuals. Self respect movement were drawn in the South India by
Very much.
Periyar Ramaswamy. That self respect movement was nothing but to provide a dignity of life to the people.
Right.
So when we say this movement were taken out in the social movement, that means the human dignity was at question. It was the humanness of the humanity was not in a position to give them a dignity of a humankind. That's why the forefathers has taken out all this missionary movement to give them a self respect, to emancipate their life, and to bring on and cultivate within them a brotherhood, a society of equality, opportunity. So these are all key values, and
Yes.
to achieve that, our forefathers had also given a lot of short term and long term objectives. Short term
Right.
in terms of when we say, as I talk about, to provide a human dignity, to provide them a self respect, to come out of the sufferings of poverty, to come out
Yeah.
of the sufferings of untouchability, to come out of the sufferings of isolation, like Adivasis, like
Yeah.
caste, like scheduled tribes. They were into isolation for so many centuries. They have
Mm.
not seen the light of books,
Yeah.
which has been stolen away from them. So this social movement has been brought in to provide them a short term. I mean, we call it short term because just by getting food for 3 days, I mean 3 time of food, and getting a job to uh, to prepare yourself for the food, to buy food, to get you an employment. So these are all short term objectives because they are not going to eradicate the main sufferings which we called as social inequality,
Right.
isolation.
Right.
This all
Yeah.
cannot be removed just by providing food for 3 times and getting a good opportunity of working somewhere and getting some job, and filling the family life. So
Right.
our purpose of our forefathers were not on individual emancipation. Their purpose was to bring in the entire society change, how society can get benefited, and not on a short term basis but on a permanent basis. So a
Right.
permanent solutions has to be provided to the society, which our forefathers has given through their movement. We see
Yeah.
Satyashodak movement from Jyotirao Phule. We
Yeah. Yeah.
see Shahu Maharaj bringing in human dignity by providing, by making himself, offering to go to the tea stall of a untouchable.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
making,
yeah, I think you have given the brief, in a very, very, not only brief, you have gone into the kind of 150 years of last, and I can see that, this route was not only for 150 years, whatever our, I mean, ancestor has, carry forward this one. This was from the Buddha time itself. Yeah. What the
yeah,
Buddha has started this movement is nothing but what we are calling the Phule Ambedkarite movement, was the same uprooting the Brahmanism. Yeah. So we have a very, very rich, very, very long history, starting from the Buddha itself, 3,000 years, like that. And what we can see here is that our society right now, yeah, in current scenario, and it was similar in the Buddha time also, and which is not changed until now. It's we have the same system and situation, that our society is made of the Mulnivasi Bahujan Society. We call it STSC OBC. And then there is a society which is a non-Mulnivasi society, which is other than, more than the 90% of the society itself is a Bahujan Mulnivasi Society, STS OBC, and less than 10% is the society which is a non-Mulnivasi Bahujan Society. Yeah. So
yeah,
this
yeah,
is a struggle between, the continuous regular struggle between the Mulnivasi Bahujan and non-Mulnivasi Bahujan Society, and this caste is a big barrier into that one. Caste is the playing a very, very, the heterogeneous mass of the society. The 90% of the society of the Bahujan Mulnivasi is divided into the, more than 6,000 caste, and this caste is playing a very barrier to make the homogeneous system, to make a Mulnivasi concept into that one. So that is why this one of
yeah.
the aim of the Phule Ambedkarite movement is to annihilate the caste. And next question with you is that, we have, if we see that, Baba Saheb, wrote a book on this one itself, Annihilation of Caste, in 1936. It was published. Yeah. And from that time, and the Phule started this movement, yeah, uprooting the Brahmanism. And from, so 150 years, call it like that, just a very recent time, or 90 years of writing this Baba Saheb Annihilation of Caste. What has been the reason, why this caste is not getting annihilated, why we are not able to make this Mulnivasi society, this 90% of the heterogeneous mass, why we are not able to make as a homogeneous mass of the Mulnivasi society? What is, all has the same suffering, all has the same problems, all
Correct.
are aiming. There is a lots and lots of the movement going on in the society. If you go in not only in India, if you go to the abroad in any countries, you can find that this Phule Ambedkar movement is running over there also. Yeah. But still we are not able to, we are not successful to make a 90% into a homogeneous mass, to make a Mulnivasi society until now. What could
Yeah,
be the
yeah,
reason, where we are lacking, what is the
yeah,
lacking
yeah,
point?
yeah.
What do you see?
No, a very important point. I mean, while discussing with you on this various subjects, a very important point is to first understand what Mulnivasi Bahujan Samaj talks about. Why there is a stress among missionaries to talk about Mulnivasi Bahujan Samaj? The history of Mulnivasi Bahujan, I mean the Renaissance period. I mean, if you talk about Mulnivasi Bahujan Samaj, is what Bhagwan Buddha has a numerous conversation with the Brahmins of that time, um, who were the you know who were the who were rejecting Buddha and his teachings that time. Buddha
Yeah.
tried to explain. Buddha tried to tell that your teachings. I mean, in so many in his conversation. So if we take out the meaning out of what Buddha has talked about during that time, he told about Buddha John not just wanted to help the small miniature Brahmin Samaj of that time, who were very small in percentage, but they were trying to dictate the terms to the entire Samaj of that time. So
Yeah.
Buddha said that my teachings are not for a small portion of the mankind. My
Hmm.
teachings are for maximum people in this world. My
Yeah.
teaching should reach Bahujan Hitai and Bahujan
Bahujan.
Sukhai. So
Yeah.
it should reach maximum people, not a minority people. It is not
Hmm.
only the benefit of minority, it is benefit of the entire world. So let us take, hey Bhikkhu, go out and tell this teaching to Bahujan Samaj. So we derive this Bahujan Samaj from that point that this emancipatory movement is for the entire Samaj. It's for converting the entire Samaj towards the liberation. So
Just a moment, sir. I want to just stop you here. Yeah, just for a moment. Yeah. Just you talk about the Buddha that and talk about the bhikkhu that here bhikkhu you go out and spread yourself in the all directions and just spread these teachings to the everybody. But what we can see there is a very important point comes from there. He made an organization. He didn't work like as we are working now in the society in a very splitted manner. So he worked through an organizational point of view, and the Bhikkhu Sangha was the biggest organization in that time, I think. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So that point is where we have in the society now, where we are with this
Yeah, correct.
organization.
Buddha was not just a founding father of those teachings. He was also a leader. He performed as a leader. He made a bhikkhu sangha. He made an organization called sangha, and he has not only. I mean, that time. I mean, we know how the Brahmanical social order works. They try to hatch the good things from them, from the society, and try to build it like it has been theirs, and they try to make it that I mean, they try to then associate themselves in such a way that they are the founding father of those values, and they try to teach their own. They try to preach their own, misguided solutions to the problems of the society. So
Right.
basically, Buddha was just not a founding father of those teachings. He was also a creator of a biggest organization in the world, which is a Bhikkhu Sangha, and a Samaj who can, as a part of Upasaka Varga also, they were part of the Sangha, and they tried, and the biggest organization was made. Why the organization was made? Why Buddha felt that the Sangha need to be prepared? Because without making a perfect organization, you cannot propagate and you cannot implement the objectives which is being made for the benefit of the society. So that
Right.
is why Buddha was not just a founding father of Buddhism as we call today. He was also a leader in itself who has made the Sangha, and that is what happened is the objectives of the mission, the objectives of Buddha has always kept is at par with himself. When Bhante Ananda asked him, Buddha, you are. I mean, during the times when he was going to die, he said that Ananda asked to Buddha, Buddha, what we will do when you are not there? Buddha
Hmm.
said that, Ananda, my Dhamma is my best thing which I am giving to you, and take this forward. Dhamma is what? Is the mission. Is the mission to benefit the entire Bahujan Samaj, Mulnivasi Bahujan Samaj, with the benefits of his teachings. And that is what our forefathers, if we say Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, has has has
Right.
manifested the Dhamma into constitution and tried to tell everybody, come on, my brothers and sisters, take this constitution in your hand, take the democratic institution in your hand and try to implement the ethics of constitution, which is nothing but in the preamble, which is summarized in four little words: liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice. Even if you try to establish this, you will have a your you will take into the new society, a building of a new civilized society.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is what in few points, if I would like to take. And also, you have raised one more question. There are so many Phule Ambedkarite organization in the world. Why they are not been able to successfully implement the objectives of the mission? A simple example is the people, the organizations who have formed. They are not organization in first case. They can be groups. They can
Ah,
be a small, I mean, today if you see, a lot of social media is there available. So people who, four people come together and make a WhatsApp group, or do some
yes, yes.
Instagram group and all, they try to see that is an organization. No, the organization and a group is having a two different meaning. They are two different end of the river. You cannot consider a group as an organization. Organization has an objective. Organization has a structure. If that is not there, if these two things are not there, then it is not an organization. So therefore, lot of groups, I would say groups, who are there in the international market, I will say
Hmm.
market, it is an
Market.
international market. They are not following the missionary movement of our forefathers. They are just, I mean, what in my childhood, we used to have a small mandal,
Yeah,
mandal.
yes, yes,
A
yes, yes.
mandal means a mandal,
Mandal.
आप क्या कह सकते हैं?
Mandal,
You
yes.
can say. So mandal used to celebrate a small event in the society. So we
Right.
used to have those mandal. So these groups have become a mandal now. They have
Right, right, sir.
no future work strategy, how to evolve the mission, how to support the mission, and how to to prepare a platform which can inspire each other. So that is missing. Therefore, there are only few organizations, I would say. Yes, there are some organizations who are really working on this mission, but there are very few. And that's why, as an international coordinator, we are trying to associate with a meaningful organizations to support, to work together, and also inspire those groups who can really take up this mission. At least they have not taken it in the past, but at least coming forward in the future, they will get inspired and start working towards it. And we will associate with all those groups and organizations
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
internationally
I want
to
to I
take
want
this
to
mission
add
forward.
here, sir, in what you have said, that in the same way. From the Buddha itself, I will start from there itself. So you said that Buddha was a leader, yeah, but what kind of leader he was? That you see, he was knowing that I will go someday, yeah. So what he did is that he duplicated himself, yeah, and then he gave that if I am not there, no need of me. There is a dhamma over there, and then he duplicated, he created so many bhikkhus who were able to carry forward this dhamma, yeah. But nowadays in our society, now we have, well, calling like a small groups, and some of the organization they are calling. But if you can see that the organization is based on what they have, a caste based organization, they have a area based organization, they are like limited into a certain states and the districts and so certain domains. So this is a area based, linguistic based organizations. They have a very short goals. There is a very limited goals. They do not see that the whole India as a nation has the same problem. All state has the same problem, but still they prefer to have a linguistic, the caste based. They have a what you call like and not only this, they have a dynastic system. When they are making a organization, they are thinking that this is my organization is made of the people. Organization is made of the money from the people. So everything is coming from the people, but they think that this organization is mine. It's mine father's organization. So it's a dynasty is there,
Yeah,
feminism
true.
is there. So it's so many problems I can see the inside the organization itself.
Yeah, sir.
So
See, sir, that is very important point. See, point is the notion of caste is nothing but an ignorance.
hmm,
Notion of caste, I say, is nothing but an ignorance. I mean, it's said by Baba Sahib also. I mean, the notion of caste. So basically, people are affected whenever, even if they have converted themselves to other religions, let's say Christianity, converted minorities. We also talk
Yes.
about converted minorities. So even if there are converted minorities, specifically like Buddhists, Christians, or
Yes.
whatsoever, there's so
Six.
many. So even if they have converted, they are still carrying the notion of ignorance in their mind. The notion of caste, if we talk about, notion of ignorance in their mind. So what they think is a small community of let's say same linguistic people who comes together, they consider them as their own nation.
Yeah,
The
one nation
ignorance
they're
is
considered.
such,
Yeah.
yeah, they consider themselves as a nation. I mean, if let's say Marathi Buddhist people come together, they consider themselves as itself it's a state. They consider
Correct. Correct.
that a big walls are around them, that they cannot talk to another people. Is it such a thing? But the ignorance of caste is such that it has made it such that they cannot look beyond that wall. They
Hmm.
cannot look beyond that wall. They
Hmm.
consider that this linguistic people itself is my whole and soul. So they try, they only strive to meet between same linguistic people. So point is, mission is about talking about the entire whole holistic samaj, where the people from north and south should intermingle. The people
Right.
from lower down and the lower up should intermingle. They sit together. That's what we called about liberty, equality, and fraternity. How fraternity can be bring in? It can be only bring in by bringing all kind of people from different backgrounds on a same platform to provide an opportunity to speak. So that is what I mean. Point is the people has to understand the missionary movement, but also have to understand how the missionary movement can be achieved through a structural work point, which is nothing but organization. So they have to
Yeah.
come through an organization which is working on the missionary movement, and when they get connected, get inspired by the missionary organization, then they start working for missionary movement. So basically, it's a structural work which Baba Sahib has also tried to implement through
Okay.
various organizations he has built. Past
Yeah.
50, 60 years, 70 years, BAMCEF has been 50 years. BAMCEF is trying to trying to build this organization, and now we are in a certain stage that this organization is built up all across town level, tehsil level, district level, and now it's a moment of working in the mission and become a missionary and strive towards the achieving the mission, which we call as in another way Dhamma. The mission of Dhamma is to implement liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice in the society.
Sir, in the similar line, what are the programs? Do you have some kind of programs that you take into the society, so that this aims and objective can be, and the organizational point of view, the people can, unite together with the BAMCEF, and then they can work together. Is there any, some kind of programs going on in the society so that you can, achieve these goals? Because it's a bigger task, annihilation of caste, or it is because this is one of the tasks, but the if you look into the bigger aspect, that there is a as you have already pointed out in the beginning, uprooting the Brahmanism and setting out the Bahujan Mulnivasi Raj, all these things. Just give a brief, because we are at towards the end of the program. So if you have any programs, if you have any scheduled trainings and all these things happening to because
Yes.
I can see that BAMCEF is a national organization. It's working all over the India, not only India, and outside the India. It's also it's like international, not national but international organizations. And if I can see that they have a democratic system, same like a Buddha, and they, I think, as I know that you are a international coordinator, and you are international coordinator only for 2 years. It's a fixed term, yeah, only 2 years, because it's a democratic system, and then somebody else will take this position and will carry forward, right? So just give some
Yes.
some yeah, programs what you
Yeah.
have.
Kumar Sanjay ji, we been. I mean, lot of missionaries are working in the society. They are also working in international platforms also. So it's been long working with so many organizations, so many groups. We finally find that the when we try to cultivate the missionary objectives within those groups where we are working, where we were working, we find that it's important to bring those groups or bring those people who have the potential of becoming a missionaries to bring into a missionary organization like BAMCEF.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when we were working on all those organizations, we find that there is some certain level of a gap to understand the missionary movement. So
Mm.
therefore, from since some couple of years, and since I've been appointed as an international coordinator, we are trying to reach out to all the missionary organizations who are working towards the missionary movement, and to try to make an ecosystem of people who are missionaries, who have potential of becoming a missionaries, and whoever groups they are attached to, but try to make an ecosystem of this missionary ecosystem, where people from different background, different organizations can come together and talk about the missionary values of the movement. So we try to arrange also a lot of workshops to explain and to nurture the potential missionaries into a cadre level, and try to give them,
Garden level. Okay.
try to understand the movement, and to interact with other people also, not just within those organizations, but between an ecosystem of different organizations members coming together, and having an exchange of under a one platform, and discussing in a workshop about the missionary objectives. So
Right.
that is what we are trying to do, and through global BAMCEF diaspora also, we are trying to build up a missionary movement to to connect and network with possible well wishers of BAMCEF, as well as missionaries from from different ecosystem, to involve and connect together, and help and support BAMCEF, spreading its roots, and contributing back to the society. So basically, that is one of our objectives, and we are trying to strive toward it. So hopefully, in coming 1 year or 2 year target, we will try to bring in more missionaries, connect together, network them, and try to train them to bring into the movement. So that is one of the things. So basically, when we are trying to do that, we have a 10-point agenda. I will try to tell you those 10-point agenda, what we are looking
Quickly.
for,
Right.
what
Quickly.
we wanted to set the stage for, to build the missionary movement. So I will just go one by one. So first is to inculcate the feeling of payback of social obligation among the intellectual class. So the creation of a intellectual class. So in entire diaspora, if you see, mostly it is a cream diaspora, who are educated, well educated, who are the beneficiaries of the movement, I would call. So they were the
Yeah.
beneficiaries of our forefathers movement. So
Mm.
so we wanted to bring in those awakened persons who have understood uh, the movement of our forefathers, and have some soft corners towards it, and we wanted to bring them and nurture them, and make a intellectual class out of it, from different backgrounds. So that is one of the objective, to make a intellectual class and make
Okay.
them aware of their payback social obligation within them. Second point is to strengthen the non-political roots in the Mulnivasi Bahujan Samaj, as we say, political movement and non-political movement. So
Okay.
why we are talking about political and non-political
Right.
it is
Is
because because to march on the democratic principles, it is very necessary in a democratic nation to understand how the rights of the people can be achieved. So it is very important that the rights are enshrined in the constitution, and constitutional morality can only be achieved through a political democracy, which is
Hmm.
nothing but the institutions of democracy, which is parliament. So
Right.
that is very necessary to make them people understand, to safeguard their rights. It is very important them to understand the political democracy. And when we talk about that, it is very also necessary, not just politics, it is the non-political roots, which we call as a social movement. So they, to understand the social movement, to strengthen their social ethics, character building, a personality building, and a sensitivity towards the samaj. So that all
Right.
is very important to to make them strengthen the non-political roots to achieve the political agendas, to achieve the
Right.
political institutions understanding. Number point three is to develop objective-oriented and objective-inspired awakening of the Mulnivasi Samaj. So we have different people coming from different background. Each group of people distinguish themselves from different. So we wanted them to inspire different background to come together through a different subjects. I mean, basically, each group have a different understanding of Indian political system, Indian social system. So we want to understand what is beneficial for those groups, like people coming from scheduled tribe, the Mulnivasi Adivasi Samaj. So they have their own problems. So they have their own, challenges which Samaj is facing, which their Samaj is facing. So we try to bring in those topic and subjects, how this can be evolved, how to bring into the platform to discuss their problems, to discuss their challenges, how this can be resolved, and certainly from the intellectual class of the Adivasi Samaj, a good discussions and those good problem solving issues can be sorted
Right.
out, and those are the potential missionaries which can take part into the movement. Number four will be to spread and propagate the ideology of Rashtrapita Jyotirao Phule, Jannayak Birsa Munda, Periyar Ramaswamy, Shahuji Maharaj, Dr. Ambedkar, and other forefathers of our social movement. So it is very important to not only understand the political and non-political roots. It is very important through this we also understand the contribution of our forefathers towards attaining these objectives.
Objectives.
Then number five is to create awakening among the backward caste. So we know almost 6,700, 6,500 caste has been found
Yeah.
in backward class, which is the OBC class, which we talk about, of the Mulnivasi Samaj, and to create a feeling of brotherhood among them. If they are divided into 6,000, 7,000 castes, so as a part of our movement, our forefathers has always tried to build a brotherhood between these castes, not an enmity between them. So
Right.
basically, so that is what we try to to conjoin them, to make a cohesive force of brotherhood by telling them the objective of the mission, like attaining the liberty, equality, and fraternity and justice, and an equal opportunity to all. So by through this means, and the objective, I mean, discussing this objectives with them, we try to bring them, we wanted to them to understand what is currently is important for them, how the future can be safeguarded through the
Yes.
constitutional rights.
Yes.
Then number six is to generate human and financial resources for making our social movement self-reliant. It's very important point to make the movement self-reliant. If we
Self-reliant.
see, yeah, our forefathers have always talked about a self-reliant movement, not to depend on others. So Jyotiba Phule has always brought in money for his movement through his own organizations, through his own financial resources, like building of a corporate company. He has built up a corporate company. Baba Saheb
True.
has made up his newspapers in his own printing presses, not
Yes.
in the fund provided by Brahmanical agencies. He has always
Yes.
avoided that. He has
Right.
not even taken a money for Milind College from from actor like a big actor of that time, Dilip Kumar. So that
Yeah. Yeah.
was the ethical means which our forefathers has taken to become self-reliant for the movement. So our objective is to generate human and financial resources for making our social movement self-reliant. Then is to develop a responsible and honest leadership in the Mulnivasi Bahujan Samaj, which is passing through leadership crisis today, to
Right.
utilize and manage developed human resources. So it is very important today to develop a leadership in the honest leadership and a committed leadership in the Bahujan Samaj,
Yeah.
because today we see that there is a leadership crisis in all across, and that's why the political democracy is also not been achieved, just because of this fractionism, just because not understanding the key and committed part of the individuals forming of an organization. So that is what we try to build up through so many workshops of intellectual workshops, social movement workshop, to discuss and to make a committed cadres out of it, and
Right.
they
Yeah.
then confound and try to give back to the society in form of working for the organization.
Yeah.
To guide the Mulnivasi Samaj, number 8, to guide the Mulnivasi Samaj in order to lead respectable life. So
Yes.
our all the actions is to build a dignity, a self-respect amongst an individual, to emancipate an individual from their status quo
Okay.
and give them a direction that they can change their life struggles by attaining a good human value qualities, and try to understand the present status of the world, try to educate them, try to give them a try to open a resource
Yeah.
of people who can really guide them. So whole objective of this movement is to build a person who is who has an emancipatory outlook, not just a status quo, who come out of his individual suffering and poverty, and also help others to build others to contribute back to the society.
Right. Right.
Number 9 is to create full-time activists dedicated to the objectives, ideologies, and values and principles of the organization, and involve them into the propagation of ideology. So, as I said, create a full-time activist also. I mean, just not understand through a workshop and by giving
We'll go back.
means few hours of time, and you consider to do to be considered and respected in the society. No, you have to become a full-time activist to achieve this mission. Okay.
Yes.
Then 10th point is to undertake research in various department of human sciences, to generate literature and spread it into the Mulnivasi Bahujan masses. It must be
Yes.
clearly understood that the success of the movement shall depend on the achievements of all the above 10-point agenda, which we try to take it to the masses and try to
Yeah.
implement and try to bring in all potential activists, all potential human beings who really have a window towards pay back to society and have a respect towards what our forefathers have achieved. That is all.
Yeah.
Back to you,
I
Sanjay.
think that I was having a question, but I don't need to ask anything because you have already answered the question. The question was that why someone should join the BAMCEF, but you are through the 10 pointers. I think you have made it very, very clear that why a person should join a BAMCEF. So that's very, I was not expecting that you have kept all these things in front of you. Thank you so much for giving, I mean, we have a 30-minute time, but we have extended our time to 45 minutes. I think, but it was a very, very good discussion, and it can keep going. But so we will take the more discussion in the some another day in some another topics, and we will join with you. I think at the end of the program, I would like to ask you that you have any message to give it here, and then we can close the program.
Yeah, Kumar Sanjay ji, through this video, who all is watching, I would like to tell that we wanted to connect with all the activists, all the humans who are watching this video, who have a respect towards our movement and want to work towards in this mission. They can connect with us. We are not far away. We are just a touch away, a high away. We will try to bring into what all programmings we are doing all throughout the year. We try to bring in, we try to nurture you, we try to give the message of the forefathers movement. And we have a lot of work to be done for the movement. As working in a BAMCEF, we have ground level, tehsil level, this organization has reached. And only way to implement our forefathers objectives is through organization like BAMCEF, to work towards working in BAMCEF. So we want them to know, even if they don't have much time, but they can come, they can inspire others, they can take back some teachings from these workshops to understand what is the current scenarios and all. So it is a whole soul benefits which people can take it from BAMCEF. So I would like them to associate with us, and we can work together, we can network together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think with this, we'll close this program and we'll connect to some other times. Thank you so much. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Simhan, Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi.
Friends, you saw this conversation today. I would like to request you that please do subscribe this and spread this and share this with your family and friends. And in the movement we have the as much you can spread this awareness is the very key things into this. So please say do share this, and we will meet in another program again. Thank you so much watching this MNT News Network. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Samvidhan, Jai Bharat.